Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. You're listening to The Drive-In on TBS efm, and I'm your host, Brian Ju. Oh my gosh, there's only 10 more days left until Christmas Eve. Are you excited? Because I am psyched. I'm not psyched about trying to get gifts from my friends or what I'm going to get from my friends, but I'm psyched because it's the holidays. We get to spend, Christmas with our loved ones here in Korea and all over the world, of course. And you know what? I feel like I'm just on top of the world. I feel like I can fly, just like the group I used to be in, and fly to the sky. So it's perfect setup for the next song, which is actually a request from Hero, who asked us to play this song, pointing out that it's from the film Space Jam. Do you guys remember this movie? I do, because all-time favorite basketball player of all time, I just said all-time twice, Michael Jordan, who's playing basketball with the Looney Tunes. Do you remember that scene? Yes, this was a classic basketball animated mixed movie of all time. So this is R. Kelly with I Believe I Can Fly from the Space Jam original soundtrack. What a great song. That was R. Kelly with I Believe I Can Fly from the Space Jam original soundtrack. Requested from, I said it earlier, Hiro. Thank you, Hiro. Great song. Great song to start the day off. Fly. Yeah. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. That's me trying to sing with my voice locked up in the morning. Anyways, welcome back to The Drive-In. I'm your host, Brian, and before we get to the next part of the show, I want to let you guys on a little special. You guys can contact us. You can simply call the studio at 02778-1013. Send us a text at sharp 1013 for a charge of 51. Or send us an email at efmdrivein@gmail.com. Or simply send us a tweet at efmdrivein and send all your requests. Make sure they're from a movie. Just like I Believe I Can Fly. Most of y'all probably just thought it was a pop track, but it was actually on the Space Jam original soundtrack. So get creative. Find some songs. Do some backup checks. Maybe they are in a movie or a TV show. So we'll play that for you guys if you do know and can prove to us it was in a TV show or a movie. Now it's time for Scene of the Day. But before we get to that, I always skip out on this. We have some Twitter comments. I need to get to those because more and more each day we get like 100 people, 100 new people. I don't know if that's true, but here's one from Ong Ni. She wrote, "Oh, I love the song very much. Every time I listen, your face and Juani's come to me. Really happy. Love Fly to Sky. Love you." Well, thank you, because for a lot of you listeners who didn't know, me and Juani actually performed this a few times on our shows, on TV. So yes, it's a good throwback moment for me. I hope Juani's doing well. Also from Brian Ju, Singapore wrote, hey, it's Friday. Greeting from rainy day, Singapore. Time to tune in for my favorite program to start my day. What a coinky-dink. It's raining here too in Korea. So Singapore and Korea, we have something in common right now. We're both rainy weather, and it's really gloomy outside right now. But still, I'm here to have a good time. Are you not? So now it's time for the Scene of the Day. Okay, now it's wintertime. I know it's rainy. So for the Scene of the Day, we've been thinking about movies with great winter scenes. And most of these have been related to Christmas lately, but there's other movies that have great winter scenes. And the one that I want to discuss today is Rocky 1, 2, 3, number 4. Exactly. Rocky 4 was released in 1985, and it starred Sylvester Stallone as Rocky Balboa and Dolph Lundgren as the Soviet boxer Ivan Drago. In the beginning of the film, Drago has a fight with Rocky's friend Apollo and ends up killing him in the ring. So Rocky vows revenge against Drago, agreeing to fight to be held in Moscow on Christmas Day. But once Rocky and his training staff go to the Soviet Union, they're placed in a log cabin in the middle of nowhere. Meanwhile, Drago has a state-of-the-art high-tech training facility, unfair, and he's even juicing up. So Rocky's crew realizes that the Soviet government has set this fight up as propaganda, and they're trying to give their fighter the best chance to win. Well, the day the fight comes along, and after everyone in the stadium sings the Soviet national anthem, the boxers are getting ready for the fight. So let's take a listen.
It's unbelievable, the condition it was then that the
I must break you.
Whoa! Right there, I must break you. If somebody came up to me and said, I must break you, that's fighting going on right there. That's serious fighting going on right there. And I remember watching this movie as a kid, like around 4 or 5 years old, and I was like, whoa, Dolph Lundgren is probably the scariest dude I've ever seen in my life. Well, of course, every Rocky movie ends basically the same way. You know, Rocky will probably win and save the day and get vengeance for the death of his friend. And he'll also show the Soviets how awesome freedom and democracy are. But you know what? It's kind of ironic because This film really criticized the Soviet government for being an active participant in the propaganda, when obviously it was such a pro-American propaganda film. Yes. Not trying to say that I liked it when the Soviet Union, what went on in the Soviet Union, but in 1985, we were at the height of the Cold War. And that is what the mentality was back then. You know, it was all US versus them. USA is great and communists are bad. Whatever. But wake up, people. People are people all over the world. Where you're from doesn't matter. Especially during the Christmas season. We should not spread hate, but we need to spread love to one another around the world. No matter who you are, where you're from, as long as you love me. Sounds like a Backstreet Boys track right there. I don't know how these words came up. It wasn't planned. Well, we can't play that song for you guys right now, but we'll play a song from Rocky IV. The song played when Rocky was training for the fight in the snow and ice. Here's John Cafferty with Hearts on Fire. That was Hearts on Fire by John Cafferty from the Rocky IV original soundtrack. What a great song. Pumps you up. Friday, it's gloomy, but we're pumped up here. Right now, I want to let you know what's going on today's show. It's now playing Friday, so after intermission actually, Eugene will run down the top 5 movies in Korea right now. And he'll also introduce a brand new spanking movie that's playing right now in Korea, but that's after intermission. For now, I want to read some comments that came up on Twitter. And also we have a text message right now. 4617 wrote, Hi Brian, 오늘은 겨울비가 촉촉히 내리네요. 라스베가스를 떠나며 OST 신청합니다. Aww. She's saying that it's raining right now and she wants to actually request a song. Leaving Las Vegas. But which song? I don't know. She didn't say the actual song, so we don't know which song you want to hear from the movie. You have to be more exact. 어떤 곡인지 디테일하게 저한테 얘기를 해주셔야죠. Yeah. You can't just tell us the movie title. We don't know which song you want to hear. Also, we have Twitter comments. This person seems new. We never read this one from this. This name seems new. Gino Ina Lee wrote, saw the movie one day yesterday all by myself. Made me feel even more lonely. Aww. And she requested Elvis Costello's Sparkling Day. That's a great movie, One Day. Yes, although it's sad. I don't want to tell you what happens. A little tearjerker. I cried a little bit. Yeah, it's a sad movie. Also, we have one from Mayanne, simple and sweet. She wrote, Good morning, Brian. Right on. Well, thank you very much. Right now, I just want to go right into the next request. And the next song is a request from Banran. And it's for a song from the Working Girl original soundtrack. The film came out in 1988 and starred Melanie Griffith, Harrison Ford, Sigourney Weaver, Alec Baldwin, and Joanne Cusack. That is a star-studded cast right there. That's crazy. And this film got pretty good reviews, too. It has 83% rating on the Rotten Tomatoes. And Roger Ebert gave it 4 out of 4 stars when it first came out. That's a great film, then. We should all go see. I didn't see this movie, so I got to go see this. So, this is the song Lady in Red by Chris de Burgh. Check it out. That was Lady in Red by Chris de Burgh from the Working Girl original soundtrack. And right now we move straight into the next request. And this request comes from earlier, the text message from 4617. We found a song for you. And this is from the Leaving Las Vegas original soundtrack, which starred Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue. This is It's a Lonesome Old Town by Sting. And I'll be back in part 2. Welcome back to the drive-in. And now it's time for Now Playing Fridays with Eugene. That didn't rhyme.
That's okay.
That's supposed to rhyme. It didn't rhyme. I'm so sorry, guys.
You don't need to rhyme all the time. Let me just put my headphones on here.
Yes.
All right.
So Eugene's in the studio with me right now, and he's going to break it down for y'all, the top movies in Korea, the top 5 movies in Korea. So what's going on?
Nothing much. I'm really happy today because it's not freezing, it seems, you know?
It's not freezing, but it's gloomy, though.
Yeah, it is gloomy, but,
yes,
you know, at least I won't get sunburned, right? Just kidding. All right.
It's too cold to get sunburned.
Oh, it's early. Okay, let's go right into it. We're going to start with the number 5.
Number 5.
Okay, number 5 is, this is weird. It's called the Werewolf Boy Director's Cut and has 6% of the audience, right? Okay, so we talked about Werewolf Boy a lot. This is, about the teenage girl in the 1960s who meets the feral teenage boy who ends up being a werewolf.
Okay.
They fall in love, but then all the townspeople are attacking the werewolf and just to save him from the townspeople. So, we've talked about that a lot, I think. But this is strange because this was listed twice, this movie. There's a Werewolf Boy, and then there's the Werewolf Boy Director's Cut. So if you add them together, it would actually be 9%. And that would make it number 4. But since...
What I don't get is, isn't Director's Cut usually something that's on a DVD or something?
Yeah, usually. I guess maybe they thought, maybe the Werewolf Boy wasn't good enough and they needed to put some of the deleted scenes in or something. I mean, it's really interesting that they would put it out so early and in the theater too, right?
Yeah.
Like usually they don't do. They put on the DVD and some special extra commentary to make you want to buy the DVD, right? So it's very interesting that this would be out so early. But that's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Okay, another movie. It seems like we got the werewolf in the last one, and this one you got the vampires. It's Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, and this got 6.1%, just edging the Werewolf Boy director's cut. And what can I say? The Twilight film has not been able to topple the Werewolf Boy from its perch in the minds of Korean people, because if you add the numbers together, 9% like the Werewolf Boy. But, this is still a pretty good film. You really liked it. You talked about it a lot.
I mean, it wasn't the greatest film in the world, but I'm saying it was better than the other ones that I've seen.
Right,
Yes.
right. Well, again, I was not a fan of the Twilight series, but then again, usually if a lot of people like something, then I tend not to like it. So
Did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of this one when I went into the wrong theater, actually. Sometimes you do that. You walk into the wrong theater and you're like, oh, let's just check this out for a while.
And you didn't like it, did you?
Well, I had to go to watch my other movies, so
So you didn't get to watch
I
the whole
didn't
thing.
get to watch the whole thing. But it looked like it was all right.
The best part of this movie is toward the end. So,
Towards the end.
if you don't want to see the whole love line story between Robert Pattinson's character and his girl, just watch the movie the last maybe 45 minutes.
That's 45 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of movies are like that, where the plot is so slow taking off, and then at the end, like, everything happens. Like, you could say that about so many different movies. But let's move on to number 3. Hey, that's good. Number 3 is Rise of the Guardians, and this got 11.3% of the audience. Now, when I'm saying the percent of the audience, I mean in the past week of all the moviegoers, that percentage of them actually saw it. So if there was like 1 million people that saw movies last week and you get 11%, that's about 100,000 people or 110,000 people that saw it. But I don't know how many people actually went to see the movies last week. So
Because of the weather and everything.
yeah, I know. So the percentage could fluctuate. It could mean a totally different number from week to week. But this one is what do you get when you get Santa Claus, Jack Frost, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and the Sandman together, and they have to fight the Boogeyman. That's pretty interesting, right? No, I
I
want
fight the boogeyman all the time.
You fight the Boogeyman
In my dreams.
In your dreams. Yeah, that is what the
very-
Boogeyman does, right?
My
He's-
version of the boogeyman is a very scary, scary demon.
Oh.
I have to fight him off.
What color is he?
He's a dark black color with red eyes.
Oh, scary.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
What kind
my
of dreams
boogeyman.
do you have?
I mean, not all my dreams are like that, but I'm saying when you have nightmares.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's
right.
always in my nightmares.
When I have nightmares, I don't dream about monsters or demons. It's always about my teeth falling out.
That's not good.
Why is that not good?
In Korea, there's a saying: if your teeth falls out, that means someone close to you is going to be hurt.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll explain it to you.
Oh, I'm scared now. Okay, but no, I wanted to know, like, this is putting a bunch of mythical characters together. I mean, so if you could put 5 of your childhood heroes together on a team that are unrelated, what
Actors
5?
you're talking about.
Not actors, like
Oh, like the Easter Bunny, Jack Frost, all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Mine would be. Actually, they're all out here. I can't really think of any.
All right, for me, it
Yeah.
would be Raphael from the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spider-Man, Ryu from Street Fighter, Lion-O from the Thundercats, and Papa Smurf. That would
Why
be the
Papa Smurf?
He's the brains behind everything. He's a genius. He can always find a problem. You mean he always would solve all the Smurfs' problems and
You know what
everything.
I would throw in there?
Who?
Baloo
Baloo
from Tailspin.
Tailspin from in the Jungle Book, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jungle Book.
Okay.
Or one of the gummy bears. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, me and Eugene are gonna have a duet.
That brings back memories.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to number 2. This is a little bit sketchy. This is called.
Oh, I saw the title and I just knew it was gonna be sketchy.
In Korean, it's called 나의 PS partner, or in English, it's called What You Wearin'. Right, and this got 19.7% of the audience. This has Kim Ah-jung in
A
there.
lot of people are watching movies like these, huh?
Yeah, well, Kim Ah-jung, basically, she's in a relationship with her boyfriend, and it's kind of on the rocks, and so she wants to spice it up a little bit. So what she does is she says, well, I'm going to call him, and I'm, give him a little something over the phone, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And she accidentally calls a stranger instead of her boyfriend, and ends up giving her something to somebody else.
Okay.
And I guess
so
he's...
they had the wrong conversation on the phone with the wrong people.
Yeah, very risque conversation, I guess you could say.
All right.
And the guy that she called mistakenly, he's all into it, I guess. But because she's like a stranger,
Freak.
So it's all part of his fantasy. But eventually her original relationship doesn't work out. So she meets the new guy that she met over the phone, and put two and two together. Something happens, and they fall in love.
something. That's what I'm saying. Something.
That's a very creative way of
We
saying.
do not want to get into detail because it'll get very bad ratings
Yeah.
here on the show. So I'm just gonna say something.
Something. And if you want to know what that something is, it's PS is in the Korean title, but we can't actually say what that means. I can say P means phone. Let's just say that. All right, let's move on to number one. One.
Yes.
Okay, number one is 26 years, which is up 32.8%. It's up. It coasted up to number one from number two last week, I think. Right?
All right.
So again, this is the one about the people who are trying to assassinate ex-President Chun Doo-hwan for his involvement in the 1980 Gwangju massacre. And Chun Doo-hwan today lives in Yeonhee-dong next to Yonsei University.
Oh,
you didn't know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess people are still angry at him for what happened in 1980. That was a real big tragedy. So I guess they're fantasizing about possibly assassinating him. I haven't yet seen this, but I've heard it's very, very interesting. And since
That's scary.
It is kind of scary. But since my wife's family is from the Gwangju area, they are very, they really say we should watch this film. So they've all
I
seen
do want
it.
to see this. I heard it's a very educational. You will learn a lot from this type of film.
Yeah, and it's also like, I guess, retroactive history. I guess they're gonna, invent these people that weren't actually there who want to actually try to do something.
Okay.
But it's pretty interesting because the Chun Doo-hwan administration, they were very into like, secrecy and silencing the press. So it's kind of ironic that TBS, which is the best English language information radio station in all of Korea, is inside
With the best DJ on all of Korea.
Of course. And we're inside the KCIA building here. That's where people were actually tortured and
In this building?
Yes, in this building. So it's pretty scary. This is the KCIA headquarters.
I thought I saw ghosts.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe you were dreaming.
But with that said, we have to play a song right now.
Okay, so
it's from that raunchy movie.
Yeah, the raunchy movie with the little something. This is Jisung and Kim Ha-jung with Sexy Jingle Bells.
From the PS Partner original soundtrack. That was Jisung and Kim Ha-jung singing Sexy Jingle Bells.
Sexy.
From 9PS Partner. Jingle bells, jingle
Batman
jingle
smells.
all the way. That's my sexy version.
Okay. All right. Well, you left a little tweak at the end.
Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh.
You should just stop there. Oh, what fun it is to ride.
Oh, no. You're bad. Okay, we're going to go into the next part. Now Playing Fridays. Naughty.
Yeah, naughty we are. All right, so
Yes.
we're going to go into Not Playing Friday and talk about a new movie. This movie is coming out on Christmas Day in the U.S., and I heard it would be released probably early next year. I couldn't find exactly the release date for Korea, but in Japan it's coming out in March. So I would
I
assume...
really want to see this movie.
Oh, yeah? Well, it's called Django Unchained, and it's directed by Quentin Tarantino, one of my favorite directors.
Do you ever see the preview for this?
I have seen the preview for it. I saw it.
It looks
I saw
pretty
it yesterday. It's not only funny, it's really interesting. He's been on this whole thing with doing, I guess, retroactive history. He did it with the Inglourious B movie, where they ended up, actually killing Hitler, I guess, which didn't really happen. So in this one, they're going back behind the scenes all into, the American slave trade, and I guess we can talk about the plot later, but the actors are the first person I want to talk about. So
Amazing actor.
Amazing actors all around in this one. The first one would be Christoph Waltz. You remember him from Inglourious B's?
Yes.
Right? He was the guy who could speak like 6 different languages and was trying to, get after the main characters in that movie. Another one, Samuel Jackson, who also appeared in Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill, and he had a voiceover in the Inglourious B's.
You can't forget he was also in The Avengers.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about specifically Tarantino movies. That he
Oh, my bad.
It's okay. He was good in Avengers, definitely. And also Tarantino is working with a few other actors for the first time. The first one is Kerry Washington.
Okay.
She is actually playing the wife of the main character. She also played Ray Charles's wife in the film Ray, and she was Idi Amin's wife in The Last King of Scotland. and she was the love interest of the Thing in the Fantastic Four movies. So she seems like she's always the wife character, you know? She's the wife or the love interest.
I forget what she looks like. Maybe she looks like a wife character.
There's
some people that look like that.
I guess so.
Yeah.
She's very beautiful. I guess maybe you can pull it up.
Like Rachel McAdams always seems like the cute little girlfriend.
Oh, right.
That's what she plays in movies.
Okay.
The cute girlfriend.
Yeah,
all
well,
the
I
time.
guess some people are just suited for certain roles. The next one, I'm very, very surprised that this casting was made, but it's got Jamie Foxx as Django, and he's the star of the film. So Jamie Foxx, you know, I really thought he was just a comedian, but he's actually...
he plays some serious roles.
Yeah, recently he's been doing a lot of great serious roles. And
Didn't he play Ray Charles in Ray?
Was that him?
I think. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I thought so. That's what I was going to say. That's a funny coincidence because if Ray Charles' wife is in this movie and he's in the movie, there's a connection there too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's how it happens. And then finally, we've got Leonardo DiCaprio in here, and he's playing the evil slave master. You know, so this is one of the first times you'll see Leo as a villain, and it's the first time you'll see.
Is it?
I can't think of another movie where he was the villain.
What was that one with the island? Shattered Island or something island? I forget the name of the movie.
Not sure.
But he wasn't evil, but he was a little cuckoo in the head.
Well, in this one, you know, you can see him like whipping people and like, you know, almost killing them and stuff, and possibly.
So this is a naughty movie?
No, not like that. I mean,
no.
he's a slave master, you know. So he's, you know, why don't you pick the cotton?
Slave for you.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm very impressed that Leo agreed to work with Tarantino because I haven't seen anything like that before. But let's talk a little bit about the plot. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I have seen.
You know what my favorite line in this movie
What's
is?
that?
There's only one line I remember from the commercial, and he's like, "It's Django. The D is silent."
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, that's funny.
That's in the
Actually,
bar.
I bet you somewhere in there, since Samuel L. Jackson is it, he's going to say the words MF in there, right? Because he does that in every single movie.
Every movie.
Yeah, okay. But let's talk about the plot. Django is a slave in the American South a few years before the Civil War, where he's purchased by a flamboyant bounty hunter named Dr. King Schultz, who is played by Christoph Waltz. And Schultz is on the trail of a trio of outlaws, and Django has the information he needs to find them. So he offers his freedom in exchange for help. But then Django wants his help to rescue his wife, her name is Broomhilda. She's in slavery. She's owned by Calvin Candy, who is played by Leonardo DiCaprio. So basically, a bounty hunter buys him as a slave, frees him, and then he wants the bounty hunter's help freeing his wife. So that's what the movie's about. It's going to be really
sense.
interesting. You know, and the 25th is when it comes out in the U.S. And if I were in the U.S., that's something I would really
wanna watch.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. So, you know, I only wish I could be there. But, you know, this is interesting because Quentin Tarantino, he's doing an old movie from such an old historical era. And like we said before, usually his movies are set in very modern settings. And that's because Quentin Tarantino, he is a real big fan of, you know, 1970s culture. So if you see movies like Pulp Fiction or Death Proof or Kill Bill, there's 70s imagery all over it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in Death Proof, they're all using cell phones and everything. We look at all the cars and the clothes they're wearing, the music they're listening to. They're always listening to, like, stuff from the 70s. And also, Quentin Tarantino seems like, you know, he's a fan of the African-American culture, I guess. And he wants to depict and really analyze the conflicts between blacks and whites in a lot of the other films. Like, if you saw Jackie Brown, there's a lot of that in there.
Yeah.
And maybe Pulp Fiction also, the dynamic between Samuel L. Jackson's character and John Travolta's character. I mean, you can see some tension there. And I guess he wants to get back down to the roots of it all, back to the days of slavery, to see why this exists, I guess. So, that, you know, it's not just entertainment. It's kind of like a look into American psyche or demographics like that. So I think Tarantino's a really, you know, genius for doing something like this.
Yeah.
All right,
He's
so
a genius in just regularly because he has a huge brain and his creativity is endless, man.
yeah, definitely. I can't wait until he comes out with another movie after this. But I think we have a really interesting song here, and all the music from Tarantino movies is really good usually. And this is actually a mashup between Tupac Shakur and James Brown.
Whoa.
And it's called Unchained. This is actually in the soundtrack. Usually they don't put mashups in there. So let's listen to that, and I will see you next Wednesday, Brian.
See you next Wednesday. That was Tupac and James Brown with Unchained. That's a great song. I had that little mashup right there. It's a cool little mashup. But right now, it's time to end the show. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking it's too short. It is too short. But guess what? The weekend is here. It's time for you guys to go out and have fun, even though the weather's gloomy. But stick around because we have 101.3 Main Street with An Jung-yeon coming up next. And remember, you only have 10 days left till Christmas Eve, so get all your Christmas shopping done right now. And we have some Twitter comments right now I want to read right before I play the last song of the hour. This is from Marsha MJ. She wrote, still sad, it's not showing in Korea. Want to request a song called When Can I See You Again by Owl City from the WIROST. I never saw that movie. But I know Owl City. They did a song with Carly Rae Jepsen. I like that song. Yes. We also have one from BFF Walker's Asiatic. She wrote, woo! Brian's sexy voice. I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. I'm trying to. We also have one from May Ann. You guys should have a jam session for reals. I think she's talking about Eugene, but I don't want Eugene to quit his day job. His voice is okay. Not the greatest. I'm only saying that because he can hear me right now. Also one from Yongyang. She said 오늘 허그데이래요. 항상 기쁜 아침을 만들어주는 우리 DJ 브라이님과 드라이브인 식구들에게 헉백 만개 날려요. Yeah, she wants to hug us. It's hug day in Korea. I didn't know that. 오늘 hug day 맞나요? I didn't know. Well, I learned something new. Today is hug day here in Korea. So if you see somebody, hug them. It'll brighten up their day. And right now I want to go into the next song. This song actually is from a very, very great movie, actually. One of my favorite movies. I cried a lot watching this movie. And it's from the Family Man original soundtrack. And this movie came out in 2000. And here's Mokedes, I can't pronounce that name, Mokedes with Eru 2, requested by Flying With My Wings. And this is Brian Ju signing off. Have a great Friday. Peace.